Good. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. This is a new video setup I'm trying right now. Today's video, it's all about a crazy sprint by a French pair that was phenomenal.
The French moved quick and they have speed.
What is so special about this video and why this race, I think, is one of the most historic races is because of the point of time when this attack came.
The French are pushing. Great Britain just have to that French up at 48 strokes per minute.
The way it came and the brutality of just their go for it mentality.
Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh.
I'm talking about the mains pair Olympic final 2000 Sydney. And the special thing about this is that France is nowhere until the 1200 meter mark. An interesting remark, the diversity of boats we had then was way better than everything we have today. So essentially all you see today is Philippe, and a bit of Empire. So you've got two main players. I have nothing against Philippe and nothing against Empire, but it's a bit boring. And I think there should be more boat manufacturers out there. In 2000, you still had British A-Links. That was a very good boat. The Australians had their own boat manufacturer. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe someone can post in the comments what that boat manufacturer actually was that the Australian pair rode. Now, what happens now? Until 1200, France is nowhere. They're in the pack. UK is out front. They're leading. I'm not talking about styles. I'm not talking about how great they row and how awesome it looks. If you want to see great rowing technique, watch the Australians. I think their technique is superb.
A bit of breeze there, but it's not having any effect on the conditions. There's Australia chasing Great Britain currently on 30.
Stands over everything else. And the Americans. I think these two crews have the best technique. What is so special about France? Their technique is very good, on par with the others, but their guts. They have guts, impossible. You want to be careful about lane number 4. That's where France is right now. So you've got maybe 700 more meters to go. Let's fast forward. France getting closer, and this is exactly where it happens. So the British still in the lead. You can see they're fighting. They're usually not fast starters, though they were not fast starters. They changed their strategy, trying to get off the start block fast, which didn't work out too well for them because now they're paying for the pace. This is where Jean-Christophe Rolland and Michel Andrieux start to really crank it up. The special thing about this is that they do this at a point of time where everybody is busy hurting. That's just about past midway of the race. This is where lactate is almost at its peak. It's painful. You still got almost half the course left. You got the immense pressure of, oh God, it's the Olympic final. Just don't mess this one up. And everybody is pretty much excited, a bit scared, and just, you want to go for that. That excitement is unbearable. But within the race, all you want to do is just, I want to make that medal. And the medal was pretty much in contention for almost everybody within that race. So UK up in the lead. They just don't want to give it up. They only 600 more. 600 can be either a decided thing, or it is a matter of, or if you have crews like the French, who were known to have super fast final sprints.
Jean-Christophe Rolland, he did this to win the gold in 1997, fighting to get back on the Australians. He's up at 44 strokes a minute. 75 meters remain. Australia will take the gold medal.
This is where they had an awesome mid-race sprint. But Australia was so far in the lead, they were uncatchable. This time it's different. They were with Australia. So the French did something during training that allowed them to go with the pack, not be so far out of contention. They didn't let the UK lead so much because they know that UK was actually overpacing the first 1500. That was not their usual style of racing. They were strong finishes. Their main opposition from France's point of view was Australia, not UK. They knew that if they could be with Australia, the main competitor, because Australia was 1999 world champion, they knew that it was almost impossible for Australia to catch them, because France could rely on a massive final sprint. Now, what France did differently at the Olympic A final was the way they put the hammer down when everything hurt the most and everybody else was just...
Here come the French. Watch out, Great Britain, lane 4. Look at the bows in lane 4. Now the French starting. They've taken it on early. They really have. There's about 700 meters, 650 meters to go to the line. And the French are coming through.
And that's what the French do. In a couple of strokes, watch this, a couple of strokes. See how much speed they build up now. They're almost in the boat of the British. Halfway. Let's a couple more strokes. Lane number 4 has just passed the bowman of the British. A couple more strokes and the French are in the lead. 1500, 500 more to go. That push was painful. And the Australians and the Americans are now starting to close in on the British as well. Fast forward, the French are so heavily in the lead, it's almost by open water. They're out of the picture. Out of the picture? Olympic A final? It's only just about a second margin, but that is a fast boat. Open water. Open water. That's crazy. That's absolutely spectacular crazy. What the French do now is just hang on. They knew that they overpaced massively. That push was even very painful for themselves, for the French. Now the crazy thing is, they were able to hold on to it. Would the race have gone 100 meters more? I don't think we would have seen a French gold medal. So it was a bit of gambling. And boy, did this pay out well.
The French moved quick and they have speed. The French are pushing. Great Britain just have to that French up at 48 strokes per minute.
Now look at that. You see, the margin is there, but the United States and Australia, they're closing in. The UK is almost overrode. This is a race for a silver and bronze medal. What about the UK? Will they have a medal at all? France just desperately trying to hang on to something they could call a medal. Crazy, absolutely crazy. And you go forward and that's barely for the French and no medal for the UK. The French started to go at the 1200. And at the 1200, they just put the hammer down. And if you ever want to talk about psychological advantage in a race, it's not being in the lead right from the start because everybody knows you're not Superman. You cannot sustain that pace. But putting the hammer down at 1200, that takes balls the size of a planet. That is massive. That is absolutely insane. And if there are strategic moves in rowing, that's one. That's one of them. That's what we can learn. That's what we can take out of that race. Sometimes, and if you got the physiology to do it and the guts and the durability to endure the pain, putting the hammer down at 1200 is pretty crazy, but that's exactly what's going to work. Because everybody else has a very hard time to build up speed. Why? It's when you're already in massive pain at the 1200, and that's massive pain. You could see the faces of the British. It's very, very difficult to pick up. If that wasn't your plan right from the start, you're not prepared. You're not mentally prepared. This is the hang-on phase. Towards the finish, it's easier because the finish line, the closer the horse gets to the stable, the quicker it can run. But that's far away from the stable. That's far away. You got to be able to pull this off. If you can go hard at the 12 or 1300 and put the hammer down as brutally, that is crazy, as brutally as the French did it, what do you want to do? The Australians and the Americans were caught off guard. Although they knew about the French capability to go hard mid-race. They knew about it. They saw it in 1999, but they didn't see it coming so severely. I mean, that was mad. That was crazy. I had the pleasure to meet Michel Andrieux. He's a super laid-back, big bear man. He's a cool dude. And I've never met Jean-Christophe Rolland personally, but Michel Andrieux, he's like he's a name. He's a name in France, logically. But that laid-back, you would never expect this guy to pull something off like this. It is absolutely stunningly remarkable.
Plays, but the French, where did they get that speed?
If there's something we can take away from that video, I want to show you with this. Sometimes it pays to be crazy. Maybe the Olympic final is something where almost everybody is conservative. Say, I just want to have a medal for sure. What if everything goes wrong? It could have gone wrong. It could have badly gone wrong. The French could have just faded, and they could have been overrode by the States, by the UK, desperately trying to hang on to a medal, and by Australia. From a UK perspective, that's gonna suck. That's gonna be so bad. Anybody who knows anything about the UK program, it's not about thank you that you joined the Olympic squad, it's great that we're just part of the Olympics. UK rowing program is about making medals. And that's pretty much the only thing that counts. And that's why they get paid. It's a lottery funded sport. So lottery funds British rowing because British rowing is a landmark in Great Britain. Being in the lead in the Olympic final, not making a medal, that's infinite pain. And for Ed Coote, it was twice as hard because he should have been part of that straight four. He got swapped out with Tim Foster. His team, there was a story, BBC story on YouTube. The UK 4, which I'm going to make a video on if you're interested, just put it in the comments below. But the UK 4 was actually in a very good shape until Foster got an injury. He had 2 injuries, one because he was drunk, and one because he was drunk and he smashed his hands or so. And the second one because he had a back injury. And Ed Coode replaced him, and they were super fast with Ed Coode as well. But Jürgen Grobler, the head coach then, decided Tim Foster's got to be in the boat. So Ed Coode was about to be in the fastest 4 of all times and got swapped out, hopped into pair with Greg Searle, who was super successful before as well. Then you're in the lead, and then you miss out on the medal. Because of that crazy sprint of the French and the Australians and the Americans being able to catch them right on the line.
And the Australians are rowing the British down on the line. Hold on, Greg. Hold on, Ed. It's going to be photo.
What can we learn from that? For some, the risk pays. For some, it doesn't. Is it worth taking a risk? Yes. Yes. Should the UK squad have done something differently? In a retrospective, it's always easy to say, oh, if you had done this, you were not in a race. You were not in that boat. You didn't have the pressure. You were not scared to miss out. I think they've done everything right. But that's rowing. I think the British rowed with the heart in their hand as well. So all my respect to them. And my greatest respect to the Americans and Australians. That finish was one of the tightest finishes and the most exciting ones I've ever seen. So it's 21 and a half years that this race took place. And it was awesome. Thank you. Now, ladies and gents, I'm very curious what your opinions are about this race. What is it that you learned from that race? What is it that makes that race so special for you? Let me know. Put it in the comments below. And join the discussion on rowing.zone. If you haven't heard about this, it is a rowing community for everybody who loves rowing. And this is where I love to discuss these videos. It's brand new. There are like 400 members already. It's growing rapidly. And I'm very much looking forward to welcome you there as well. Yeah, and please make a couple of suggestions. What are the races that you think are awesome? From the last video about the Kiwi Double, I've already gotten a couple of feedback. A 1933 or 1932 video, unfortunately I can't use that because it's copyright protected. Blah, blah, blah. It's very difficult. Maybe I'll find a way. But making that race part of the best races in rowing history was largely owed to the fact that Alexandre, he's a French, pointed that out. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Thank you for pointing that out. All right. If you have not subscribed to the channel, do it now. It would be awesome. Follow me. I will put out more of these videos if you like. Let me know what you think of that. And I'm very much looking forward to see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.
Just the way you like it.